Matthew Gratton, thank you very much for doing this. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Nice to finally speak to you, finally put the face with the name. I mean, I've seen you on Instagram. Fantastic stuff, my friend, I must admit. I mean, like the transformations you've been doing to people, no, sincerely, the transformations you've been doing, the people whose lives you've helped change, hats off to you. We need more people like yourself in the world.
Oh, thank you. That's kind of you.
No, seriously, because it's like saying there is help out there. You just need to know the right door to knock on to see who answers to provide you the help that's required. And I've heard a lot of stuff about you from Tal, and shout out to Tal as well, because like the past few interviews that we've been having, Tal's been introducing me to this person, that person, this one, and now you're the third one in line. So it's like saying 3 is a magic number. So there you go.
Yeah.
So like I said, great to finally speak to you, and finally, like I said, put the name with the face. So and it's been, we've heard good stuff about, like I said, all the stuff you've been doing. The gym that you're training is absolutely amazing as well. And I must say, on the behalf of everybody, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you. That's kind of you.
Thank you. So let's start off with what I like to ask all my guests is, what is your background and how did you get into the field?
Well, I've always had a passion for health and fitness and sport, and went to university initially to study sport and recreation management. So I was more interested in going down the management route and how sport affects society. But I came out of university and I got a job as a trainer in a gym in Derby. And like I say, initially I was thinking of going down the management route, but I did a personal training was a relatively new thing there, and I had one session with a personal trainer. And then I thought, after that session, I thought this is something I want to do and something that will benefit others and something that's got a bit more meaning than management, something that I can help other people a lot more with them rather than going down the management route. So that was back 20 years ago. So I've been in the industry for a long time.
Oh, I was going to ask you next question. How old are you? But we'll keep on.
I'm 41.
Show some ID. I don't believe you. Show me some ID. Well, you look phenomenal for your age, but they say that's one of the great things about exercise. It makes you look young and keeps you young as you feel. I mean, I've seen guys I've seen martial arts instructors on Instagram and YouTube who, believe it or not, are in their 60s and they're still like being able to do the splits between two chairs and like stretching over to, like when they're doing the split, stretching over to grab their foot on the other end. Is like, that's just mind blowing. Because that's the thing about all sorts of training, is the fact that it never leaves you, does it? Whether you're training anything, whether it's weights, martial arts, yoga, the training of that and speciality will just never leave you in a million years. And what was your favorite sport growing up? Or do you have it's probably a lot, isn't it? So
I did have a lot of sport. Yeah, I played a lot of sports, but my two favourites were athletics and definitely football. And I played at a reasonable level of football throughout my 20s at semi-pro level. Now, if I'd have known what I know now, I'd have probably been doing better type of training for what I was doing then. Back in the day, it was just grab a pair of weights, lift, and you'll get a bit bigger to be able to knock the defenders off. But there's a lot we've learned. There's a lot more to it than that. So part of my training now that I do, it's strength and conditioning, and it's catered for athletes. So it's just fit for purpose for sport.
Yeah, no, that's good, because recently a person we interviewed as well, Jamal Hussain, he's a strength and conditioning coach himself, but that's mainly tailored around cricket. And but how did you get yourself into the PT game?
So like I say, I started off as a fitness coach and then as a duty manager at the gym, and then I was inspired by the personal training session I had by a personal trainer in the gym at Derby. That's how and then since that I was a personal trainer at Derby for a while. Then I moved into the management. I was a manager of a club for a few years. Then I went back into personal training again. So and over lockdown, I did a strength and conditioning course. It wasn't until recently that I was qualified in strength and conditioning.
Okay, well, congratulations on that as well. And what is your fitness speciality? Like, what is the field that you mainly specialize in?
I've found there's several areas. I'd say weight loss is a big one. women's physique's the new big one. A lot of women are wanting to get fitter and stronger now. That's become a trend, and I'd say the majority of my clients are females. And also training people with a specific goal. For example, I had someone recently that went into the police force. I've had a couple of people that went to the Marines. That was a lot tougher. And yeah, and the prison service, and yeah, for special events such as weddings as well as popular one.
Oh
So
yeah.
So
There
I'd
are
say I've
some
got a variety. Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I've got a variety of people with different goals. But yeah, probably weight loss and women's physique's the two major ones I've got.
That's really good though. That's good. Yeah, because I've seen that a lot recently. It's just like it's become quite a popular trend on Instagram, on even in my gym as well. You see a lot of women out there, doing a lot of heavy weight training and looking to get fitter, looking to for longevity, as everybody's wanting to strive for. Because that's one of the beautiful things of exercise. It provides longevity, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
yeah, and because once you get into the trend of it, you just don't want to get out of it, because it's not just about getting fit, getting active. It makes you happy. It pumps all those great endorphins in your brain as well, to like, yeah, I want more of this, I want more of this as well. And that's what you do. Once you set a good trend, it's forever. It's like when you take up martial arts. Tal told me himself that you're a martial artist, or you've done martial arts.
It's boxing, yeah, not martial arts, boxing, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's very good. What are you, more left hand or southpaw?
No, I'm not southpaw. No, I'm just the normal stance. I've only had to go at the white collar. I don't know what he's told you. I've only had to go at the non-amateur boxing. I'm no expert. It's more fitness.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's true. It's like boxing. Like a good few rounds of shadow boxing burns a lot of calories up as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's great
I
for
find
fitness. Yeah,
it does. I mean, I find it a lot more interesting, a lot more enjoyable doing that than just jogging on the treadmill for a little while. And it's like after a few minutes, like, okay, I'm bored of this. I've got to get off, and then go do something else. Where you feel like, where that continuous movement is making you push it even further, isn't it?
yeah. That's what I'd say. I'd say I always try and find something when I've got a client that they enjoy. I'll say that, because then they're more likely to keep training rather than just go on a treadmill. Or that's see it in January every year, don't you? People go on a treadmill or they go on a bike, and then they're bored after a month, and then they leave the gym. So it's one of the first things I try and do in the consultation, is try and find something that somebody enjoys. That's the most important thing. Then they're more likely to keep going.
That's good, because there's always, as you mentioned, January, there's always that new year, new me phase that goes through. But we were usually, like, was it last year at our gym, we had quite a lot of people we hadn't seen before, and after a month we never saw them ever again. It was like, where was that person gone? Oh, it looks like they've gone. Oh, I've quit the
seen that for the
gym.
past 20 years. I've seen that for the past 20 years. Same thing.
It's probably just, I don't know what happens. In your own opinion, why would you think people go through that phase for like just a month's time and then never come back again? In your own professional opinion?
I think obviously people eat more over Christmas, and then they think, well, I need to lose this weight. It's time to sign up for the gym. And then I think the problem is when they get to the gym, it's like, oh, what do I do now? They've got no plan. So they just pick a treadmill, or they'll pick, I say, a cardiovascular machine and go on that. So they've got no plan or structure with the training. That's one reason. Another thing, like I've just mentioned, the fact they've got to try and find something they enjoy. Maybe talk to a trainer, just ask people like half an hour just to maybe get a plan, so they could probably do one class a week, that they find a class that they enjoy. That'd be one thing I'd recommend. Have some sort of training plan that they can stick to, that's achievable as well, something that's reasonable, rather than just going to the gym unprepared and just picking the nearest machine that's free. That's probably what I'd say.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I see a lot of people like being able to, like, 1 second they can't do pull-ups. I admit, starting, I was never able to do a single pull-up, and you'd be like, if I had a trainer in front of you, you'd be like, what is the matter with you, Adi? You can't push yourself up a little bit further and everything. But over time, it's like the more you keep going after it, eventually you're going to see that progression go through, isn't it? It's not going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. There's no such thing as a quick fix. It's just patience, time, and progress. Progress, not perfection, as people say.
Exactly.
Thank you. And you know how a lot of people have like a philosophy when it comes to training. What is your, as a personal trainer yourself, what is your training philosophy?
I'd say to empower people empower the client with confidence. Obviously, ability is important. They need the form, they need the ability, but to empower them with confidence, so that when they go to the gym, they're feeling that they've got a plan and they're confident going in. It's not just about, you can't expect people to afford to train 3-4 times a week with me. So most people can train once or twice a week. And then so over time, it's giving them the confidence so they can train on their own. Hopefully they'll stay and do one personal training session a week, but like I say, not everyone can afford that forever. So yeah, part of my philosophy is to empower people. Say that.
It's a good philosophy you have there. It's a good mindset. It's like,
Mm.
there's a certain good training philosophies I've heard, is where they say, be fluid, be calm, and be patient, even while you're training. There's no point packing on 300 pounds of weight on the bench press when you know you're not going to struggle it. What is anyone rushing to do? And who are you training that? Who are you doing that for anyway in the first place? And okay, and just look, and
so I'd say, I'd say I've got a strategy with each client. I'd say that as well. So the consultation is really important. So it's sitting down, asking somebody what their goal is, and then trying to set a realistic goal over a period of time. So time frames are really important. Setting smaller goals, micro goals over a period of time, like you've mentioned already. It's not built. Rome's not built in a day. So setting little goals over, let's say, 4-week periods, and then maybe longer term goals, just so they're realistic about the time frame, what they can achieve. I found that with some people. Some people are realistic, some people are unrealistic. So it's trying to work together with that person and setting a strategy in the consultation.